Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we have Jhordan Stephens as a guest, and she's going to tell us all about her story with the bipolar disorder and how she's managing. Welcome, Jhordan. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good, good. So let's jump right in. When was your diagnosing first initiated, if you can recall?
I was 16
Okay,
and it was like 3 years ago. And
three
I'm
years.
19 now.
Okay. So leading up to that diagnosing, can you tell us a little bit about your history prior to having the disorder put in place?
When I was 9 years old, my grandmother died. And then when I was 13, my grandfather died, and he just sparked the made it so I went into the hospital for the first time when I was 13.
Okay. So that was like a breakdown from obviously the traumatic pressures of your family passing away like that, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is this bipolar 1 or 2?
I'm think they haven't given me like whether it's bipolar 1 or 2, but
Okay.
from what I've heard, it would be 2 because I don't really have the manic
Yes,
part of it.
okay. Okay. All right. So, are you medicated right now? I can't remember in our discussion in.
Um, I'm not medicated for bipolar. I am on a Abilify shot, but I decided I was going to stop taking that.
Okay.
But that's not. I'm not medicated for bipolar. That's for the schizoaffective diagnosis that I had.
Oh, so they've diagnosed you with bipolar schizoaffective disorder, the two
Yes,
combined.
but
Okay.
but I just took a neuropsychological testing, and he didn't come back with schizoaffective. So
Okay. So, how did you feel about this diagnosing when you were sitting in front of a psychiatrist and having that delivered to you? Like, what was the first initial thoughts on the matter, if you could express?
my first thoughts were, well, I'm used to it because my grandmother, she has it.
Okay.
So I was expecting to get that diagnosis. But when I was 16, my parents were in charge of everything. So they told my parents, and I just started taking medicine for it. And I didn't know nothing about what I was taking the medicine for until they told me.
Right. And after taking the medicine to treat the illness, did you find that it made a difference? Was it helpful? Did it?
No, it just
No.
made it worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can you explain how? Like, was it the side
Well,
effects?
I started spending a lot more than what I used to.
Spinning out of control, you mean, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Was it a lower dose of medication or?
It was the lower dose of lithium. I think I started out
Uh,
with lithium.
I've got a lot of experience with lithium. Yeah, I mentioned in my other podcast about lithium, and it was the gold star medicine for bipolar, specifically bipolar 1, which I've been diagnosed with 20 years ago. And that chewed me alive, that stuff. They got other things in place too that can help band-aid the situation for the moment. But yeah, that was a
I
potent
think
drug
it
for
was
me.
messing up my kidneys because I kept getting UTIs.
Yeah, yeah. I've almost had kidney failure due to that. It was just over an abundance of a severe, prolonged, um, high dosage of it, right? 1,350 milligrams. Yeah, for several
I
years it
was
was
only
just too
on
much.
900.
Yeah. But again, depending on the individual and their genetics, chemistry, and all that, some people favor to it, and others just get toxic, and especially with higher doses naturally. But all right. So you mentioned your grandmother had this prior. So obviously it's genetically enhanced in your case, yes. And the passing of your family members could have triggered something to, you know, kickstart this disorder?
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you feel? I mean, I know you're only young. I was diagnosed when I was 19. Um, what's your goals like in terms of how you're gonna micromanage this disease? Like, are you wanting to continue a regimen of medication, or do you want to go medication free? Like, what are your family and therapists telling you about this?
Well, my family, we don't really believe in medication. And so my therapist and all them want me to stay on medication, but I'm like, no, because of all the side effects I have night terrors now. I used to never have night terrors.
That's brutal. Right.
And I always have UTIs, and those things are painful.
Sorry, what was that last bit there, Jordan? You cut out. Sorry.
I said those are painful.
Yeah, most definitely, definitely. Well, that's it too. I mean, if you've been diagnosed with bipolar 2, again, we're all different in how we, deal with these conditions. But if you feel that you can function properly without it and avoid the side effects, then, you know, and your family's backing you up, and you seem to be doing relatively okay. I mean, I've only spoken to you for a minute, but obviously there's going to be varying degrees of how you operate through the course of the day, and each and every day is different anyway. But I'm a strong advocator to try to, operate if you can function properly without meds, or if you need it initially to band-aid so you can get through the hurdles, because it's a rough road, as you know. You get a diagnosing like this, you don't know what the hell to expect from it. You can Google and read all you want, and then you get psychiatrists telling you what they believe, and kind of leaves you in a bit of a bind and pickle, because you're not certain which direction to actually turn to. And I don't know about you, man, but at that age I felt quite alone with it. Nobody in my hometown knew about it. Uh, Parents, grandparents, relatives are all like, what is that? And there's nothing worse than trying to get into a discussion of something you barely understand, let alone try to, go on a tangent to someone else and express it. But I definitely feel your pain there.
Yeah, my parents, they don't really believe that I have it. They're
Right.
like, you ain't got bipolar.
Well, it's in my understanding and research and what I believe, this is just me individually, I feel is nothing more than a label, and it's coping mechanisms for you to get through whatever you had to endure. Especially in these days. I mean, a lot of triggers come up for a lot of individuals that, you know, um, well, the best way I can express it, I guess, is like in boxing, right? When somebody gets punched in the head, they get knocked out, usually rapid taps in the brain, and it's your body's mechanism to shut down and shut off so there's no more damage. And I believe that's where these labels come into place, that it's your body's natural way of pushing something away for so long, but then it builds up, and you more or less keep those emotions suppressed in your body, in your tissues, in your mind, and then it just fizzles and boils to the top, and then you're left with this brew of chaos, and you don't know how to deal with it. Then you have psychiatrists running in and saying, "Oh, this is what you have. This is what we're going to do. We're going to throw pills at you," and they tell you it's a lifetime regimen of medications and therapeutic sessions. And I'm not a big believer in that. I don't want to smash on anyone else's uh, biased attitudes about it, but for me, there's other ways of coping, and I'm more of a holistical approacher. After you get through the hurdles, as I stated, if you need meds, get on them, do what you have to, so you can get your grounding proper and get your feet firm again, right?
I take a lot of herbs,
Nice.
and I'm on a vegan diet, so that's helped a lot.
Yeah, veganism, I mean, that too, again, works for some. I tried it. I got sick, lost a bunch of weight, muscle strength and everything. I couldn't do it, but again, we're all designed differently. But if that works for you, man, all the power to you. In terms of supplements, what are you taking for that now?
There's like sarsaparilla, stuff, stuff like that. Like
Nice. So more or less
I'm br-
things. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm drinking a tea right now that has like black walnut. I think sarsaparilla. My mom made the tea.
Heck yeah. Good on ma, right? I'm drinking tea too. Now, mind you, it's only a herbal tea of nothing more than lavender and some other stuff. But you know, you can look at food and herbs as medicine or poison. And I'll tell you, man, I'm a firm believer that your diet, your exercise, and your sleep can micromanage a lot of the disorder and disease if you're on top of it and you're strict with it, right? And meditation, I've mentioned that 1,000 times to people before. Qigong exercises, which is a way to take your qi energy, right? This is what the Oriental people believe, that we have energy within us and it can become stagnant, and that's when you have issues. So if you practice a form of qigong or tai chi, you can get that energy flowing through you, and that's another way to also calm the mind along with meditation, right? Spend as much time as you can in nature. Have a decent support system. You know, all these things collaborated together can really be successful for people going through these issues and ordeals with these mental conditions, right?
Yeah, right now I'm doing a raw vegan fast, and
Okay,
I've been walking and getting my exercise. I've been trying to get out and walk like 3 times a day at least.
perfect. Well, good on you, especially at that young age. I was useless at that age. I wanted to drink and just further, progress down that rabbit hole of a chaotic mess. So, but it's helpful too that we have Google. We can type in things that are going to aid us in benefit to help rebuild that damaged tissue in our mindsets too, right? So it's good on you, Jhordan. Um, is there anything you'd like to tell the audience about what you do on a daily? Like, do you have a routine?
Mainly I just wake up, I take my dog out. She's cute. It's her birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday! Right on.
She's 7.
She's 7, eh? Okay. What kind of dog do you have?
American Bulldog Pit Bull mix.
Sweet. Nice. Beautiful breed.
And then I usually eat breakfast. Then sometimes I'll take a shower in the morning, sometimes I'll take it at night. Just depends on
Hmm.
when I want to.
Yeah.
Um then pretty much I get my day started. Sometimes I have appointments. I have a lot of appointments, more appointments than the normal person because I don't like staying at home
Yeah. I
for
hear you
some
on that note.
reason.
Well, especially with the COVID thing happening, man, I don't know about you guys, like we don't have a lockdown right now at this current moment, but that'll make you stir crazy and get that old dirty cabin fever, you know what I mean? You're stuck in your house 24/7.
Yeah, we don't
Thanks.
have lockdown right now, but you got to
Nice.
wear a mask everywhere. And
Yeah, I find that's difficult to manage too, trying to breathe through it and whatnot. Always keep it down under my nose, so I'm still kind of compliant. It's all over my face, and no one's ever said anything. But it's again to each their own, I suppose. I'm just not a fan of ingesting our own bacterial, disgusting germs and whatnot. Right? I like to breathe
yeah,
fresh air.
it's like they expect you to. It's they saying, oh, it'll make sure you don't get COVID, but at the same time, you breathing in your own germs.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's probably another topic we can discuss some other time. But my mindset on that is complete rubbish, really. I mean, I don't want to smash on the platform about it right here, right now, because you're probably gonna have a lot of angry characters about it. But whatever, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
but that's pretty much it that I do on a daily.
okay, those are key factors for you. That's keeping you, aligned with what you need to do in order to stay stabilized too, right? And
Yeah.
that's definitely a benefit. Um, are you when you go for walks? Are you in like nature, or are you city dwelling, or
Um, it's like in the country part because I
Perfect.
live in Arizona, so it's like in the country part of. So we have a bunch of houses. It's like new builds.
Mm-hmm.
It's like where they're newly building places.
Okay.
So it's like
That's Well, yeah, that's ideal. That's what I was getting at. That you're able to absorb, the benefits of being in nature. Um, I was a city dweller for quite a few years in the past, and always felt disconnected. So when I'm around the beach side, or going to a trail park, man, that I can breathe in, that fresh oxygen given off by the trees, and just being, aware of my surroundings, and kind of trying to be one with it. That really helps me too. See, a lot of people don't want to have a routine that's strict, and keep going in that direction, and that's how you fall off the old wagon, man. Right?
yeah. I used to live in Florida, and that's like the city.
Yeah. Right. And that gets chaotic too for your mindset. Uh, Dealing with a lot of noise pollution and just the busyness of it can
But back
hinder
then I was only
rallying.
like 8 or 9, so 7 or 8 or 9, something like that.
Okay. All right. What else can we discuss here on this matter then? Like, actually, I should say, do you have anybody currently in your life that has been diagnosed with bipolar that you can relate to and resonate with, or is it just solely you and trying to get through it on your own?
It's pretty much just me. My grandmother, I talked to her a lot, but
Oh, right.
I'm
She's still living, is she?
yes.
Okay. Now, with her diagnosis, is she medicated?
I'm not sure. I don't think she is
Okay.
because she self medicates.
With weed?
No,
I was gonna
a-
say I do, right?
alcohol.
Yeah. I used to be, a heavy wine drinker, but that kind of hurt my body too. So I kind of gave it up here 2 years ago. But yeah, well, I mean, everybody has to turn to something in order to cope with it too. But you know, to each their own. Again, I can't stress that enough. Um,
I guess I could talk about how it came to be where I'm out of the hospitals for the bipolar.
well, yeah, certainly. So you actually were institutionalized for a little while before the diagnosing, leading up to, yes.
Yes, I
Okay.
was in the hospital for like it was like 3 days before my okay, I received the diagnosis like 3 times in a row. Like I received it when I was 16, and then when I was 17, I heard it again, and it was like 3 days before my 18th birthday.
Wow.
And then
So,
I just heard it again a few days ago after I got my neuropsychological testing.
okay. Was this like who took you into the hospital? Was it a family member that thought it was a necessity, or?
I tried to kill
Oh
myself.
shit! Sorry, Jordan. I'm sorry to hear that. Um, I actually had an attempt when I was 19 because it was too chaotic. Life was just, I don't even know, man. It was just a mess for me. And I overdosed on a bunch of pills. At that point in time, nobody knew anything. I was still in my hometown province. And I just thought it was everyday life and stress that was getting to me. And I took a bunch of pills, man, and I actually flatlined for a minute. They brought me back. And I was in an institution for, I believe, maybe a month, a little over, just so they can monitor and try to get some understanding of what I was going
The
through.
longest the longest I've been in institutionalized was 3 months.
3 months. Yeah, I spent 4.5 in another institution, and that's when I actually got my proper diagnosing. Um, I was force fed a bunch of pills. Mind you, I was homeless at that point too, doing a lot of psychedelics
And
and
the reason I was in there for 3 months was at first I overdosed. Then I went to this hospital, and then I went to and then I went to the ER, and then I went to another hospital after the ER, and I was there for 5 days. And then somebody decided to petition me, and I went to this place that you just sit in recliners and stuff, and they dropped that petition and sent me inpatient to their inpatient facility where you just sit around and watch TV all day, and it's very boring. And then after that, my clinic decided they wanted to petition me and call me persistently and acutely disabled. So then they sent me to the state. It's not the state hospital, but it's like the state. It's not the state hospital. I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, take your time.
Um, it's like the county hospital. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And then they court ordered me.
Oh, wow. So they felt, obviously, well, I mean, naturally, Peter, you're trying to off yourself. They thought you were a threat to yourself and possibly others, yeah?
Yes, but it wasn't others because I would never hurt anybody.
Right. Yeah, that's a misconception, too. They think that people who have bipolar disorders and schizophrenia are just, wanting to hurt individuals, but those are the ones that are actually wanting to hurt themselves. They're suffering immensely. And yeah, we've got a bad rep for that. It's unfortunate, but I believe that time is changing, and hopefully there's a little more awareness being spread. Hence the whole idea of this platform, so people can tell their stories, and just get it out there to have a domino effect, so that others can come forward and tell their stories too. Because the more voices that you accumulate, the easier it is to break down those stigmatic walls that are being put up steadily with these disorders. Because it's no different than if your body was, in a mangled mess. Like my ankle, I broke that back in July. People can relate to that and go, oh, that sucks for you, I have empathy for you. But when you have a disorder because you mentally broke down due to traumatic experiences, whether they be, from the external or internal, or you've had a genetic disposition hand down, they can't really resonate and understand and have empathy for that. They think that, you know, you're just crazy and they don't want to be a part of your life and try to push you away.
I want to
Which,
go get genetic testing.
okay. To see if that's actually the case for you, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do they go about that? I've never heard of genetic testing for disorders.
Well, I guess they have to. I'm guessing they have to draw your blood and do a bunch of different tests, but I'm not sure how they go about it. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
want to go
curious
see
to
a
know.
genetic test. But if I do get it, I'll let you know
Yeah,
how it goes.
because I know that they can't really distinguish a disorder of such through blood work, through an
They
X-ray,
can
brain
they can
scan.
they can do genetic mutations
Okay.
in your blood. They can see genetic mutations, and then they could those mutations are linked to different disorders. So it's like you might have this, or you could develop this. Like some mutations are linked to heart disease, some are linked to mental health issues, autism.
Okay, that does make sense. And Jhordan, if you could follow up when that happens, and just let me know how that goes. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
And once I went on my vegan diet, I was out of the hospital for like 2.5 years before I went back.
Okay. So on the vegan diet with a 2-year, course that you took with that, what made that trigger happen again in order for you to be relapsed and put back in the hospital?
I moved to Arizona, and I moved from Alabama to Arizona, and it was a hard change.
Okay, trying to make that transition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Leaving all my friends and everybody.
That makes sense. That can definitely burden you for sure. So, do you find with this vegan diet that's alleviating the stressors, the triggers, and the heavy weights that burden you steadily with this disorder, or?
Yeah, because when I was eating the meat and the dairy, um, I've heard from some people that you are what you eat,
Oh yeah,
but
100%.
like if you eat a chicken, then some people expect you to act like a chicken or whatever.
Well, I do know that the nature of the slaughtering at a slaughterhouse for animals, like if they've been brutalized,
They
before
release some. They release some kind of
chemical, right?
chemical, and
That's
then
right.
they enter your meat.
Yep. And not
But
to mention,
I don't want to get into all that because some people might have a problem with that and be like,
this is an open ground conversation. That's perfectly fine. I'm on board with you. I think that you know,
but it's not for everyone because some people can't handle it. Some people body can't handle it, so it's not for everyone.
the veganism.
But
You mean? Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
not for everyone.
yeah. I'm not able to go down that road. I've tried, as I mentioned, but in terms of meat eating, like if these animals are brutalized, they do release chemicals. You think about their last thoughts or their last whatever before they're being slaughtered, and if they say that water holds memory, and we contain memory, and so do the animals, their cells are being derived into us upon ingestion. So then all of those chemicals that were in that animal that was slaughtered in a horrific manner, that's being dumped into your body and then filtered through. So it's going to have a negative effect on you. So I would say try to go organic as much as possible. It's difficult naturally, financially, but it's a better route than dealing with half the shit that you got
And
in the
most people
stores.
say veganism is like so expensive. It's not if
No.
you eat vegetables and stuff. It's not as expensive as meat eating because you have to keep buying meat over and over and
Hmm.
over again because it goes bad.
That's right.
Vegetables don't go bad as quick.
Well, yeah, and especially if you buy frozen or if you want to go to the market and buy fresh, which I also suggest. You don't have glyphosate and other toxic sprays all over,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
in some meat they spray it with some stuff to make it
Hmm.
fresh,
Yep.
to keep it fresh.
Yep. Much like all the produce that's in the supermarkets and whatnot, and that's
Yeah.
like they're trying to tell us that it's just micro dosing these vegetables and that your body should be able to break it down and consume it properly, but
We
that's
have
not
an
the
indoor
case, man.
we
Yeah.
have an indoor garden and we have an outdoor garden,
Nice.
and that's where we grow our vegetables at.
Heck yeah.
And then
Well,
if we need something on the quick, we'll go to the supermarket. But other than that, we just grow our own vegetables.
that's awesome. I got to start doing that too. Now, mind you, the climate's not appropriate right now. We got winter here in Nova Scotia, but the spring I like to start cultivating, because I know for a fact that when I've eaten produce that's been harvested by an organic farm, like I feel 10 times better. And I'm 41, so naturally my testosterone is dropping, energy levels and everything else. So it's best for me to equip my body with what it needs to, be at my optimal levels.
Yeah. Um. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say some vegetables you can grow in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some vegetables you can grow in the winter. There's winter vegetables, there's spring vegetables, summer vegetables, and fall vegetables.
Oh, smooth. Okay. I might have to start digging in here, man, because wife and I always buy the frozen vegetables because I don't like the stuff that's sitting on the shelves. But I'll take a look at that and see what I can come up with. Because I've always been a strong advocator in the idea that food is your medicine or poison, and you are what you eat, as you mentioned earlier. And people saying that it's too costly to eat organic or be a vegan. Well, think about all the processed garbage that people eat on the daily. Their chips and their pastries and cakes and different things. It's
Of course, it's going to be expensive because most people go to the frozen section and get
mhm,
frozen vegan meat,
yeah, which is
and that's
loaded
going to be
with garbage.
expensive. That's like $5 a piece.
Yep. It's unfortunate too that the rise of food is just going up steadily too. But
Hmm.
just gotta make careful decisions on what you're purchasing and try to shop for the season, I guess. Right on.
But I
Well,
think that's about it.
what's that?
I said I think that's about it
That's
for
about
me.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
from you mean like your storytelling?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine, right? Um, I wanted to say too that I'm very pleased and honored to have you on as a guest and to see where you've started and where you are now in that short duration of time with your exceptional knowledge on being an advocate for yourself and having that strict routine of being a vegan and walking and whatnot. It seems like you've got all your ducks in a row, and if you continue that, I'm quite certain that you'll be perfectly on your way to a healthy
I
living
don't
standard.
know if you want me to tell them, but I could tell them all the diagnosis that I have mixed in with the bipolar.
Sure, if you want. Yep.
Okay, so I have intellectual disability because my IQ is a 70. Uh, I have a frontal lobe deficit, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and a coding deficit. And I have bipolar disorder, dependent personality disorder, borderline tendencies, but not the disorder. And there was one more that I can't remember.
I'll tell you what, Jordan. From what I can gather, just in the short duration that we're talking, I think you're doing quite well. And I don't know if that means anything coming from a stranger, man, but the best thing I could say is hold your shoulders high and your head high too, and be proud of yourself, right?
Yeah.
In terms of those diagnosings that you just mentioned here, what are your family's thoughts on those matters? Are they
Or
thinking
they
it's
don't think I have intellectual disability because they say
yeah,
I'm too intelligent.
right? Yet I wonder too if these are just. I mean, I don't want to smash on other people, but I'm thinking like labels tossed out to suppress you, to make you feel less. That's what I really feel a lot of these labels are, just to make you feel like a lesser individual so that you succumb to the needs of these psychiatrists, doctors. I mean, let's face it, they don't want you to be healthy. If that was their intent all along, um, you wouldn't be going to see them, right? They want you to stay sick. They want to feed you pills to, keep you under their thumb, so to speak, right? And it's very unfortunate, but you keep doing what you're doing, Jordan. All the power to you, and you've got your family backing you up on those matters too. So, yeah, you're doing quite well, man. Right? So, yeah. Is there any last statements you want to toss out there before we end this session, then, Jordan?
I just want to tell
Oh, there's a massive delay
people
here. Oh, something happened.
to keep their head held high
Hold on,
because
Jordan. Can we back it up a minute? Because there was like a big, massive delay for about 10 seconds there. I couldn't hear a word you said. Sorry.
I said to tell people that to keep their head held high because it'll it'll get better eventually.
That's right. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, and it's a matter of realizing that these are only thoughts and emotions that come and go like storms do, right? And if you can kind of make
Yeah.
that connection and realize that sunny days are not too far away, then that's the proper mindset to have. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan. Well, it's a pleasure, and like I mentioned, when you find out more about that genetic testing, uh, hit me back with a message and we can discuss that. Quite interested.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jordan. You have yourself a good day. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Bye.
Okay. Take care. Bye bye.